The Olympic Games aren't just a collection of the world's most competitive sporting events. They are a spectacle that has thrilled us throughout human history, and Team USA is an important part of that story. With nearly 130 years involving thrilling moments of victory and agonizing moments of defeat, the designers of the US Olympic and Paralympic Museum had their own competitive match to prove themselves. Throw in a few hurdles and the need to connect this project to a new urban center, and you have an Olympic-sized challenge on your hands. Andy, Ben.
Thomas, good to see you.
Hey, thanks for coming.
So happy to be here, and what an unbelievable setting we're in. Right in the center of the city, this amazing backdrop of the mountains, in the shadow of Pikes Peak itself.
It's spectacular. It's an amazing setting right here in the Front Range of Colorado. It's got the U.S. Olympic Committee headquarters here. It's got a U.S. Olympic Training Center, and now it has the United States Olympic and Paralympic Museum.
What a match made in heaven, and what a wonderful canvas, Ben, to begin a design process. How did you begin?
It was a little bit humbling. It began on a napkin sketch, a two-part building that framed the approach from downtown along Vermejo, that monumental mountain in the background, the kind of Olympic setting, with a generous, gracious plaza of entrance that welcomes everybody in of all abilities and backgrounds. The building itself had to be truly iconic, so the flexing and twisting form really feels like the body of an Olympic athlete winding up in the middle of a performance.
What about the skin? Because it looks quite special.
There are 9,000 unique panels on the exterior of the building that form that shimmering skin that wraps it. And the skin really is evocative of like an Olympic swimmer's shark skin costume, the thing that streamlined their body's motion through the water.
That's so poetic. You also mentioned welcoming everyone here, so I imagine universal design and accessibility was a huge driver, wasn't it?
Absolutely. We wanted everybody that came to this museum to have the same experience, regardless of their level of mobility. But we wanted to create one of the most accessible museums in the world.
What an incredible soaring space to arrive in. And I love this idea that you're faced with stories of Olympians right away.
Yeah, we wanted to have an incredibly high impact experience for everybody when they arrive. This 40-foot tall LED screen that tells the story of Olympics and Paralympic athletes immediately when you arrive. We want it to be a space both of orientation at the heart of the building, but also a space of inspiration. There's daylight at the top, your eyes are drawn up. As your eyes descend down, you see the custom perforations through the panels that we created with Armstrong World Industries.
After a guest arrive here, where do they go next to unfold their experience?
So everybody starts here and goes up a room-sized elevator together to the top. And then from there, visitors all follow a common universal path until they arrive back in the lobby space at the bottom. There's also the opportunity to customize your experience with RFID.
As in radio frequency identification.
Exactly. It customizes the experience to your interests, your background, your abilities, to make it a unique storytelling experience for each person who visits.
Andy, now that we've arrived at the top gallery, I am struck by the drama of this exhibit.
Well, we wanted to start with a bang, and we worked with the curators, the exhibit designers, all sorts of folks to help start with that bang. And one of the exciting things here is we have this collection of torches. This is one of the only 2 in the world complete collections of Olympic flames.
That is so cool.
One of my favorites is the interactive exhibit where you can actually race against Jesse Owens. I don't think anybody's beat him as far as I know yet. We also have that terrific lab, and it's about sports and technology and how technology is evolving. But I think the really exciting thing was how all of the galleries are framed around the conversations that we had with real Olympic athletes. They provided great stories about what was important to them and what shaped their Olympic experience. And you really get that sense when you come here. Thomas, welcome to the event space.
Wait a minute, is this the scoreboard from Lake Placid?
Sure enough, Miracle on Ice game 1980. It's a truly treasured possession here, and it found a terrific home here in this event space.
The other thing I noticed about this space is this giant sweeping arc that we saw from the outside of the building.
So we worked with a group radius track to actually make those shapes happen and form those shapes so that we could attach this amazing skin to the outside.
That arc then leads us to this fantastic knockout view.
Yeah, it's a great view that way, but I love the view to downtown. This room itself showcases everything that is really exciting about what's happening right here in this burgeoning neighborhood in Colorado Springs.
This bridge is just such an interesting complement to the whole museum. It really feels like it extends the experience for people.
The bridge is really the heart of the urban story of the project. We had to connect the city across 12 active rail lines to the museum. There's also a really interesting story about the installation of the project because we were only allowed to shut down the train lines for one day. So King Fabrication out of Texas prefabricated the bridge on the other side, and in one 8-hour window of time, lifted the bridge up and gently dropped it on its two piers in place.
Wow, that must have been amazing to watch. Now, you mentioned the city separate from the museum. Were those two distinct entities you had to work with?
Exactly, that was one of the big challenges, is that the bridge itself was publicly funded, community support, City of Colorado Springs. Museum was a privately funded philanthropic enterprise, but the bridge itself sits on a wall of the museum on one side. So somehow we had to get these two entities to collaborate and come together.
Interesting, so really passing the baton between each other must have been a close partnership.
There were a few challenges along the way, but it was in the end a great collaboration between the city and the museum that produced this amazing project.
The great success was that it allowed us to take these two entities to connect the west side of Colorado Springs, America the Beautiful Park, the museum as the focal point, connecting into downtown Colorado Springs, all along accessible pathways. And so it's really the idea of connecting and bringing all sorts of different folks together.
The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum is a masterclass in creating bold architecture that embodies its purpose. The teams at Diller, Scofidio, Renfro, and Anderson Mason Dale have created a beautiful monument to the Games, one that also stays connected to the city thanks to the Park Union Bridge. With an emphasis on universal design, engaging galleries, and sculptural form that's exciting as the thrill of victory, this project really goes for the gold.